Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to take a look at this beast of a NAS right over here. This is the ASUSTOR 6404, and you guys that follow the channel know that I've been using network attached storage solutions for about 10 years now, and I've got almost all of them right over here, but this one here is by far the most powerful one that I've used so far, and in about 2 weeks or so it will become my main unit because I will be migrating all my main data and everything that I need to it. So I will be sharing a few videos and of course starting with this one today, which will be my main review on the ASUSTOR 6404. So if you guys are on the market or thinking about getting one of these NAS units which are located in the mid-range going to the higher range on these type of units, just stay tuned and waste a few minutes here with me. And that being said, let's go straight for it. Hope that you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in a few seconds. And we are back. So starting as always with a very quick unboxing experience. As you guys can see on screen, it comes well protected. It comes in a well presented package with a small box of accessories that you can see on screen, and of course the ASUSTOR 6404. Now in terms of build quality, this unit is really solid. We have seen in the past a few units made of plastic and metal, and this one here is mostly out of metal. As you guys can see on the image, it's a metal enclosure all around, and the trays are made of metal and plastic as well. And in terms of design, it looks a professional design and a really nice display on the front, which has a display, and then on the right side 4 buttons that we can use to control the unit without a computer. Now just really quickly, we can configure the one-touch backup, show the network information, the storage information, CPU, system and disk temperatures, shut down or reboot the system. We can also see the server name and change it, and also the network settings, change some settings, and lastly we can also customize the text that we wanted to be displayed, but this is of course a optional setting. Now in terms of specifications, it has the Intel Apollo Lake Celeron at 1.5 GHz and Turbo Boost at 2.3 GHz, and it has 8 GB of RAM, which as you guys can see on screen, we can replace it, but it's already with the maximum of 8 GB, so at this moment I cannot upgrade to 16 or whatever. Now it takes up to 40 TB of storage in maximum. I will be using only 16 TB, as you can see on screen, the new Toshiba N300 NAS grade hard drives, and in my tests it will give us roughly 90 to 100 megabytes per second on writes, and 100 to 110 megabytes per second on reads. Now I did test using the disk speed tool and also by transferring some files, as you guys can see on screen, on a Windows machine, so that we could check out the real world performance. Now if we use link aggregation, which is something that I don't have yet on my setup, we would be able to get the double of the speed that we can get right now from this unit. So it's once again something that my network is the bottleneck and not the NAS itself, because it could output the double, and the drives that are inside also can output up to 200 megabytes per second on reads and on writes. So all I need to get the maximum of both the units and the drives is a link aggregation switch, which hopefully in the future I will get one so that I can achieve the maximum speed of these units. Now in terms of connectivity, at the front we have a USB 3.0 port with a direct copy button, and then at the back we have a USB Type-C port, which is the first NAS unit that I've used with this kind of USB Type-C port. We also have a HDMI 2.0, 2 USB 3.0 ports, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, so that we can use link aggregation, and then we have a optical out, which is also the first time that I see an optical out on a network attached storage solution, which can be used as a media center as well. That's why the HDMI and the optical out, but we will see that in just a few moments. We will also find a reset switch, a power input jack, a Kensington lock, and then finally a really silent 120mm fan. Now next, I just want to share with you a few steps on the setting up of this unit, which is really easy, and I'll show you some images on screen that once we remove the 4 hard drive trays, we can insert drives that can be 2.5-inch SSDs or hard drives, or 3.5-inch hard drives. Now in my case, as I mentioned before, I will be using 4 Toshiba N300 NAS discs, and I did review them a while back, a few weeks ago, so I'll post a link right over here just in case you want to check out the old results from these drives. Now once we have the drives and the trays out, all we need to do is to screw the hard drives to the trays using the supplied screws. Now honestly, I prefer to use systems without any screws at all, but it's not that bad, having in mind that I will put these drives there and I will not touch them anytime soon, so not a huge deal. Now moving on, once we have everything tight, we just need to insert them back on the NAS trays, which at this moment I'm using all 4, and if we want to, we can lock the trays just for extra safety. In my particular case, I will not, but as you guys can see on screen, with any screwdriver I can just turn it and it will be locked. And that is it. Once we do all this easy setting, we can just press the power button, and then we can just follow the steps either on the NAS display, as you can see on screen, or on any browser, which was the method there that I used. And there will be some quick settings or custom settings, and as you guys know me, I do prefer to have all my settings chosen, so I did the initialization process on the custom settings so that I can choose the IP that I want and the name that I want and everything that I want customized for this particular unit. Now in terms of software, the ASUSTOR 6404 is still using at this moment the ADM or ASUSTOR Data Master version 2.7.3, but soon enough I will be joining the beta program that has the ADM 3.0, and I will share a few videos regarding that so that you guys can check out the new software. I'm really curious to see, at least for the pictures that I've seen, looks really cool, so I will do a few videos regarding that. Now regarding the ADM 2.7.3, which is what we have at this moment, we have seen it in the past. I did use a 2-bay ASUSTOR unit, which I'll post a link also right over here on the YouTube card so that you guys can check. But this just to say that I'm familiar with the software. The software, in my opinion, is still one of the most complete that I did test out and that I use daily, and that's available on the market, of course. And I'll leave you with a few images right over there. And in my opinion, this is a kind of device that we can start by using by anyone that has never used a NAS unit before, because it's really simple to use, but at the same time I do feel that even when we grow with our needs and capacity and so on and so forth, this ADM from ASUSTOR has a lot of options, more than those that we use on a regular basis, and especially a great application store, as you can see on screen, that has a lot of apps and will extend the features that we can do with this device on our daily basis. Now, a really simple thing, but that caught my attention and it's really cool, is the Wake-on-LAN of this particular device. Now, usually on any device that I use, there's one function that I love, which is the sleep function, and works great when the disks are not touched or not used, and they will go to sleep, and then the NAS or any other drive or storage solution, to be more accurate, it will go to sleep as well. Save energy, no noise, and so on and so forth. In this particular case, besides having all that, there is something, and probably you are seeing on screen right now, which is the ability to shut it off completely, and hopefully I can show you that, and then from anywhere in the world with a mobile app or with our access to the ASUSTOR unit, we will be able to turn it on or turn it off depending on the case, but we can do it from a distance. We don't need to physically press it, which is something that on other units is usual. So I'm really impressed that this feature is just awesome. I can shut it off completely if I go on holidays, but if I'm somewhere in the world and I want to access my photos or my videos or anything like that, with my mobile phone I can turn on the unit from 1,000 kilometers away and access everything that I've got there. Now, talking about access, we can access this unit as I do it on a daily basis with my units that you guys have seen here and here inside our home network or our business network, which is, as I said, the way that I use most of the time. But if we want to use it or access it from outside our home, ASUSTOR has a really simple method, which is we just need to register our device and then just select a username and a password, and that is it. As long as we have an internet connection and a web browser, we will be able to do everything outside the network as we were inside our network. Now, besides that, they also have the mobile apps, which I will show you a few images there. But my opinion, 1 year after using the first ASUSTOR unit, my opinion, as I said, as I was saying, is still the same. To me, from every brand that I tested so far in terms of mobile apps, ASUSTOR is the one that has the most complete apps that I can do everything. I can check all the information from the unit. I can shut it off, shut it down, turn it on, and so on. I can check date. I can select to see photos, videos, slideshows, and so on and so forth. Or I have a lot of choice. So in my opinion, I still haven't found any other brand with this kind of apps that have the same performance and the same presentation and the wide range of options that we have here. So this is a thumbs up for these guys in terms of the mobile applications to access this unit in a very simple and easy way. Now guys, we can also use this unit right over here as a media center, if you want to call it, or a media center dash media player. And if you ask me personally, Robert, are you going to use it that way? No, I prefer to use other method. I love network attached storage solution, and I'm always trying to say to everyone that watches Android TV boxes, videos, and so on and so forth, that we need to play multimedia. These NAS units right over here are the best way, in my opinion, so to be able to stream our content to our devices. And of course, if one of you guys want to use one of these devices to connect directly to the TV, we can. It's not going to be my scenario, as I said, but we can. And I will share the experience that I had. So all we need to do, for those of you that never seen this scenario, is connect the ASUSTOR directly to the TV, and once we connected, we will have a different screen, if I can say so. We will have a launcher to be more accurate, like we find on Android devices, but in this particular case, it's a Linux based launcher with a few shortcuts. And one thing that I would like to mention, we can use a regular keyboard, a regular mouse, or a remote control, or even the ASUSTOR app that it's built to control the multimedia center. Now, one of the things that we will have here available is the full access to the dashboard, so that we can for example, if we want to use this unit only connected to a TV and no computers at all, we can control the NAS with just the TV and a keyboard and mouse. We can do everything there because it has this HDMI output and all the access to the unit there. Now, as I was saying, we can have full access, and that means that I can configure anything and also install some apps that I will be able to use when I'm using the multimedia center through the TV. Now, there are a lot of apps that we can install on this unit so that we can use the media center or media player, as I mentioned, but I will only focus on those that I'm familiar with, that I use on other devices, so that I can have a comparison here and share with you guys. So starting with the YouTube app, as you can see on screen, we will be able to play up to 1080, and it has a really smooth playback. Not only the playback, but also when we move using the remote control. It feels really snappy, really fast. I didn't find any lag at all when using this device, which sometimes the firmware or software is not well implemented for the media consumption, and it breaks here and there, but in this particular case I had no bad experience at all. Now moving to the Netflix, as you guys can see, when we press the Netflix app icon, we will be taken to a Chrome browser tab. So that means that we will be able to play Netflix up to 720 or HD resolution, which is the regular resolution that most of people watch, but there are a few devices at the moment that will reproduce 4K dedicated media players, like the NVIDIA Shield, for example, Mi Box, and the WeTech Play 2, for example, that will play up to 4K. In this particular case, because we are limited with the Chrome, I'm not really sure because I didn't test, but probably if we use Firefox, we will be able to get 1080. I'm not really sure because I'm not a Netflix browser user. Usually I use the Android app, but what I can say while you are seeing the images is that the playback was very smooth. Once again, I had no problems at all, and it looks really nice. Although it's only HD, looks really nice. Now moving to Kodi, as you guys can see, it's running the latest version of Kodi, which at this moment is 17.3, and this is great. Now I did test around with the samples that I've got, and as you guys can see on screen, it's really fast when we fast forward and rewind, which is a really good sign on any device, not only on an NAS unit but on any device, and it passed all my tests regarding this when I push these machines fast forward, rewind, and so on and so forth. In terms of videos, I did play around with up to 4K with H.264 and H.265 codecs, 8-bit videos, and it played really smooth. And as I said before, even fast forwarding and rewinding, it looks really nice. Now moving to my last test, which was with Plex, and as you guys can see on screen, what I did was to turn the ASUSTOR 6404 into a Plex server, and then I did connect a Plex the Plex media player to the TV, so it acted both server and player, and also played around with the iPad, which is usually one of the devices that I use to test out the transcoding. And what I did so far was to play around with 4 files which are Blu-ray MKV Blu-ray files, and so far what I've seen is that it plays great. At least using 2 devices at the same time, it plays great. Now Plex is one of those things that I want to test more intensively on this unit, and if you are interested on a Plex server and how good or how bad this device, which not bad because for what I've seen for, it's really great. Usually iPhones, iPads are not good at transcoding files, especially MKV, and for what I've seen so far, and as you guys had the chance already to see on the screen, it handled really good. But besides that, I want to push it a little bit further and see how far I can go. So stay around on the channel, and I will, from time to time when possible, I will share some videos regarding just the Plex server and its capabilities regarding that. But overall, in terms of media consumption, although I will not be using this device to be connected to my TV directly, I can see the use of it. If someone gets this unit and wants to use it directly to the TV, it will not lose anything. As I said, you guys that follow the channel, you know how I use Android TV boxes connected on my network, and then I go and get the data out of these network attached storage solutions, which for me it's the best scenario possible. And that is it, guys. With this long video already, I've said everything. Now, in terms of conclusion, just to reinforce that I will be using it as my main unit, so expect follow-up videos. If you guys have any questions, please drop them down below, and I will try to check your questions, test it out, and then share on future videos. As I said, also, I will not be using as a media center or media player. I will be using as a media center, but not as a media player. So if you guys have any questions regarding that, although I will not be using it, I have a TV right over here, so I can perform a lot of tests that you guys are interested in. No problem at all. So once again, leave them down below. And that is it, guys. Hopefully this video is helpful to show you my main unit, or my new main unit from now on, in terms of network attached storage solution here for the office. And if you guys are on the market for such a unit, I will be able to tell you in a few weeks, months, if I'm happy with the investment or not, which hopefully I am. I have not regretted yet any of these choices right over here, so I don't believe that I'm going to regret that one. And that is it, guys. I'm wasting your time. Once again, my name is Roberto George. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget that usual thumbs up. As always, I'll see you on the next one.